All right, guys, so if I could only make one lentil recipe for the rest of my life, this might be the one. It's comforting, it's budget friendly, it's packed with fiber, and it's honestly just one of those recipes that you could make again and again. Lentils are one of the most underrated superfoods in my opinion. I mean, they're super dirt cheap, they're high in fiber, they're high in protein, and they keep you full for like ever. And with today's recipe that I'm gonna be showing you guys, you're gonna see just how delicious they can be as well. So today's recipe is this incredible Mexican lentil skillet that I'm just dying to show you guys. So anyways, I'm already in the kitchen, so let's get cooking. All right, so just a quick note about the beans used in this recipe. So you can absolutely use the canned beans like I'm showing here. I have these cans left over from some of my freezer meal preps, but I always love making my beans from scratch. As you can see, I make them in the Instant Pot. They are soft as butter, like just absolutely amazing. So while you absolutely can use canned beans for this recipe, I would personally recommend making them from scratch if you have an Instant Pot because it will just elevate this meal to the next level. And honestly, cost-wise, it's about the same amount for a bag of beans as it is for a couple cans. All right, guys, so I'm all prepped and ready to go here, but in case you're looking for more recipes just like the one in today's video that are high fiber, low fat, and plant-based, then I have about 150 more of them. These were actually the recipes that I personally was eating to help me get over 60 pounds off. And I think that's what actually sets my recipes apart from a lot of the other amazing vegan cookbooks out there, is that my recipes are designed specifically with weight loss in mind, because I typically don't use any overt fats in my recipes. So those are things such as oil, nuts, seeds, avocados, making them perfect recipes if weight loss is your goal. It means that all my recipes are low in calorie density, but still my mission was to keep them super high in flavor. I am running a brand new sale right now called Fall in Love with Fiber. This is by far the biggest sale I have ever run, as in it's the steepest discount you will ever receive on all of my books and bundles. That is that everything is 70% off for the next 48 hours. That's right, 70% off everything, every book and every bundle of mine. I mean, I just released my brand new book called Shake Off the Weight Again, which has 30 high fiber, high protein, plant-based shakes that can be used as a whole meal replacement. And that's actually how I did use them. I had one of these shakes every morning while I was losing the 60 pounds. I mean, that brand new book of mine right there retails for $16.99 alone. So at 70% off, you can basically stock up on all of my books if you wanted to for the price of one of my books. So anyways, you don't want to miss it. It's a huge sale. Try to take advantage of it while it's running, as it will only be going on for the next 48 hours only. So if you want to check out that sale at the end of this video, I will have the link posted in my description box below or the comment section. And if you stick to the end of this video with me, there's going to be a bonus surprise waiting at the end, so you don't want to miss that either. But for now, let's get into this recipe because this one is going to blow your mind. All right, so let's get started on making this Mexican lentil skillet. So I just started by preheating my stovetop over medium-high heat and just throwing in a little bit of veggie broth there. We don't use any oil in these recipes, so we're just going to use some broth instead. And then I just threw in some onions. I let those cook for about a minute or so before I tossed in a clove of garlic and about a half of a green pepper. Oh, and I should also mention that if you want this recipe, I will have it written out in my description box below. So when the video is done, you can go down there and take a quick screenshot and the recipe is yours. So there I'm just throwing in my spices. I like to pre-measure my spices. I just find it so much easier. So we have a little bit of chili powder, cumin, paprika, and I just threw it in, mixed it all in together. And there I went ahead and added in my vegetable broth. Here I'm throwing in 2 tablespoons of some tomato paste just to kind of deepen that flavor a little bit, along with 1 can of diced tomatoes, a can of corn. You can use frozen corn as well. And lastly, we're throwing in our lentils. So in this recipe, you can actually use dry red, brown, or green lentils. Any lentils will work. Just make sure you wash your lentils really, really good before throwing them in. Now, this next step is totally optional. I'm just throwing in a little splash of balsamic vinegar. You know, it just brightens the recipe. You could also do a splash of apple cider vinegar. And then lastly, we are going to go ahead and throw those beans in. Now, I personally waited to the end just because these beans were already cooked and, like I said, soft as butter. So I wanted to make sure that they went in near the end. And then you're just going to let all of this simmer over medium-high heat for about 25 to 30 minutes until those lentils are cooked all the way through. Now, you guys, this recipe is delicious on its own, but here I'm going to throw in a couple of corn shells in my air fryer. These will crisp right up like they are nacho chips, but without all the fat. And so basically, this is what it looks like about halfway through. You can see that it's starting to thicken up. That is what we want. We want this to be a scoopable mixture by the time it's done. So this is the final result, what it looks like when it's all done. Look how beautiful that is in colors and texture. This reminds me of something I used to have when I was a lot younger called succotash. Let me know in the comments if you know what that is, but that was pretty big around my house and it really reminds me of that. The flavor, the smell, everything. Like this will impress even someone who is not vegan or plant-based. And actually, if you're just coming from, the standard American diet or eating meat, you're really particularly going to love this recipe because of the textures and because of the taste. It just doesn't come across as a quote-unquote healthy meal, if you know what I mean. It's a goodie. So anyways, since you've made it to the end of this video, the first 5 people that go click the link to that sale right now are going to be getting my brand new Shake Off the Weight Again ebook for free. And for the rest of you, take advantage of that Fall in Love with Fiber sale right now. Everything is 70% off. Link is in the description box below or the comment section. Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and we'll see you in the next one.